And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Tuesday, January 10th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories right here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. And here are some of the news stories from the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The Obama administration is banning new hard rock mining on more than 1 million acres near the Grand Canyon, an area known to be rich in high-grade uranium ore reserves. The decision announced this week by Interior Secretary Ken Salazar hands a victory to environmental groups and some Democratic lawmakers who had worked for years to limit mining near the national park, one of the nation's most popular tourist destinations. When families travel to see the Grand Canyon, they have a right to expect to see the only glow they will see will come from the sun setting over the rim of this natural wonder and not from the radioactive contamination that comes from uranium mining, said Representative Edward Markey of Massachusetts, the senior Democrat on the House Natural Resources Committee. During a speech at the National Geographic Society, Salazar said he was at peace with the decision, one of the most high-profile actions of his 3-year tenure at the Interior. Salazar twice has imposed temporary bans on mining claims. Officials from a Rapid City homeless shelter say they're seeing an influx of people from South Dakota's 3 Indian reservations there. Cornerstone Rescue Mission Executive Director Lisa Swallow tells KOTA Television that it's not just single men or a family of 2. Swallow says she's seeing large family units. That's causing an overflow at both the men's shelter and the women and children's home. The increase has to do with the state's geography and the climate at this time of the year, but Swallow says the economy is the biggest factor. She says the shelter is seeing an increase of folks coming to use its services that normally would not be. Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Bill John Baker has announced his choice for the tribe's next Attorney General. Baker says that he will nominate Tahlequah lawyer Ted Hembury to be the successor to A. Diane Hammonds, whose term expired last year. According to the statement, Hembury has been a practicing attorney for more than 20 years and has served as independent counsel for the Cherokee Nation's legislative branch for 12 years. He grew up in the town of Greasy in southern Adair County and graduated from Stillwell High School, Northeastern State University, and the University of Notre Dame Law School. Hembury will go before the Tribal Council's Rules Committee on January 26. If confirmed, he will go before the full council in February. After more than a decade of occasional negotiations, talks have resumed that could lead to a Ho-Chunk Nation casino being built in Beloit, Wisconsin. City and tribal officials have signed a preliminary agreement for a possible casino development, City Manager Larry Arf said recently. The Beloit City Council and Rock County Board of Supervisors will be asked to sign the agreement, a document that Arf said will set the basis for the relationship amongst the tribe, city, and county. A casino in the area would create thousands of jobs and could lead to further development, Arf said. New businesses could include hotels, a theater, convention halls, and shopping spaces. The casino idea has been floated for more than a decade. In a 1999 referendum, 61% of Beloit voters approved implementation of a casino project. The Lakota Ojibwe Community College near Hayward has several programs which is inviting the public to participate in over the next several weeks. January 23rd is the Walk Your Way to Good Health, a mini health fair from 9 until 12 a.m. There will be at least a dozen tables in the LCO College Pipe Mustache Auditorium on healthy food, exercise, healthy activities and activism, healthy choices, and healthy programs in our healthy community. There is no charge and everyone is welcome to attend. Coming up on January 24th, the day after, LCO Sustainable Living Institute invites the public to its 3rd environmental film series in the LCO College Pipe Mustache Auditorium, again with the showing of Water Buster, about a family's journey to rediscover their clan and their land after the flooding of the Gannon Dam across the Missouri River. After the film, there will be a presentation and discussion about the effects of the winter dam on the people of Lakota. And on February 2nd, LCO College will continue its hands-on workshops in food preservation and dehydrating and making venison jerky. Geraldine Berg, Master Food Preserver, will present information on practical experience of putting up vegetables dehydrating. Afterwards, participants will learn how to make venison jerky. Where are the samples? For more information, you can call Amber Marlowe at 715-634-4790, extension 156. Each year, Diverse Issues in Higher Education magazine features 12 rising scholars, researchers, and thinkers in its Emerging Scholars edition. In the January 2012 edition, Dr. Majel Boxer, Assistant Professor and Chair of the Department of Native American Indigenous Studies, will be recognized as one of the outstanding scholars under the age of 40, along with 11 other professors from colleges such as the University of Massachusetts, Cornell University and University of Arizona, and the University of Georgia. Dr. Boxer joined Fort Lewis's NAIS program in 2008 after completing her PhD in Ethnic Studies at the University of California, Berkeley. She was appointed chair of the newly created Department of Native American and Indigenous Studies in fall of 2011 and is also an affiliate faculty member of the Gender and Women's Study program. Anishinabek Nation Grand Council Chief Patrick Madubby says the First Nations in the Anishinabek Nation Territory have been opposed to nuclear waste storage sites since 2004. We always hear non-Native communities saying they don't want certain projects or developments in their backyard. Well, First Nations don't want nuclear waste in our backyard either, says Madubby. Representatives from chiefs in Ontario have been attending information sessions held by the Nuclear Waste Management Organization, and this is not the proper consultation we are entitled to, he said. The Nuclear Waste Management Organization is federally mandated to assume responsibility for the long-term management of Canada's used nuclear fuel. A Deep Geological Repository program is seeking long-term storage for Canada's growing amounts of high-level spent nuclear fuel bundles. Since the nuclear industry started using nuclear reactors to produce electricity in the early 1970s, they have accumulated about 2 million spent fuel bundles, a number that could fill 6 NHL-size hockey rinks. 3 of the 5 sites in northern Ontario involved in NWMO's tenure selection process, Wawa, Horn, Payne, and Schreiber, are in Anishinabek Territory. And also a couple other announcements. We're going to be live streaming on Wednesday, January 10th in Hurley, Wisconsin for testimony on the mining bill that's going through the Wisconsin Assembly. And if you have a powwow coming up and haven't turned that into the News from Indian Country staff, 715-634-5226. Get your information to us for the upcoming February powwow directory, and that's going to be another roundup of News from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank you for joining with us, and come back again soon.